Hello, my friend. Welcome to my All Farmers channel, the channel for all American farmers. Ever wondered how those juicy steaks and savory burgers end up on your plate? Today, we'll dive deep into the heart of American ranching, where millions of cattle are raised to provide the beef we love. We'll explore the vast landscapes, the hard-working ranchers, and the meticulous process that transforms these animals into the delicious meat we enjoy. Before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications to stay updated on more fascinating insights from the world of farming. Millions of cattle are raised and cared for across the nation. With over 700,000 cattle ranchers, the U.S. is a major player in the global beef industry, and some of the largest concentrations of cattle ranchers are found in Texas, Nebraska, Kansas, and Oklahoma. Texas, in particular, holds a special place in the history of cattle farming, with a tradition that dates back more than 300 years. Thanks to its vast, open grasslands and ideal climate conditions, Texas has become a prime location for raising cattle, where herds flourish and the industry continues to thrive. This unique combination of natural resources and a rich agricultural legacy has helped Texas remain a leader in cattle ranching and solidified its importance in feeding the nation and beyond. In the U.S., the cattle industry boasts over 70 different breeds, each with its unique characteristics. But a few breeds are particularly dominant in the agricultural landscape. The Beefmaster, Longhorn, Hereford, and Angus are among the most popular, with the Angus breed being the most prevalent in Texas, where its marbled meat is prized for its tenderness and flavor, making it a staple in the beef industry. Every year, around 35.8 million calves are born across the country, with Texas alone accounting for nearly 11 million of these births. When born, calves typically weigh between 60 and 80 pounds and spend the first few months of their lives with their mothers, where they gain strength and develop the necessary skills for the coming stages of their lives. After about 3 months, the calves are weaned and they begin their journey toward maturity, whether they're destined for beef production or, in some cases, breeding purposes. This early period is essential in ensuring that the calves grow healthy and strong, preparing them for the next stages of life on the ranch. One important aspect of raising cattle in the U.S. is the branding process, a practice that dates back centuries. At the age of 1 to 3 months, many calves undergo branding to help ranchers identify them, especially when they become separated in the herd while grazing. This is a critical part of managing large herds, ensuring that cattle are easily recognized and traced back to their owners. While branding is no longer as common in all parts of the U.S., many Texas ranchers continue to use traditional methods, such as heating a metal brand and applying it to the calf's hide. This process not only serves a practical purpose, but also keeps alive an important piece of history, reflecting the enduring traditions of Texas ranching that date back to the state's early days. The use of branding is a powerful symbol of the resilience and continuity of the cattle industry, preserving a legacy that has helped shape the identity of Texas. Once the calves have been weaned and matured, typically around 2 to 3 years old, they are considered ready for the meat market. This is when they reach the ideal size and health needed for beef production. The cattle are then released into the vast Texas grasslands, where they can graze freely on the natural grasses. Texas boasts 130 million acres of grazing land, accounting for about 21% of the country's total grazing area. With such expansive land, the cattle can feed on a mix of grasses that support their growth, ensuring they are healthy and ready for the next stages of the beef production process. The scale of this operation is enormous, Across the U.S., there are approximately 91.9 million cattle, underscoring the massive scope of the cattle industry. These vast ranching operations are not just important for Texas, but play a critical role in feeding the nation and exporting beef to markets around the world. In addition to grazing on grass, many cattle in the U.S. are also fed a variety of grains, such as corn and other high-energy feed, to enhance the quality and marbling of their meat. This feeding process plays a significant role in producing the tender, flavorful cuts that are highly prized in the meat industry. The amount of corn and grain consumed by cattle is so vast that, in fact, it could be used to feed up to 800 million people annually, showcasing the scale of the beef industry in the U.S. After months of grazing and feeding, the cattle are rounded up by skilled cowboys who ensure that they're safely driven back to the ranch at night. This practice helps protect the herds from predators and ensures that the cattle are well rested and ready for the next phase of their growth. Over time, the cattle reach the optimal weight and size for slaughter. In 2023, the U.S. slaughtered around 33.3 million cattle, producing a staggering 32.8 billion pounds of beef to meet both domestic and international demand. Shifting gears, let's take a look at the export side of the cattle industry, particularly in Australia, which has a well-established cattle farming operation of its own. Australian cattle ranchers raise millions of cattle each year, and a significant portion of these cattle is destined for export. Around 1.3 million cattle are exported annually from Australia, with a whopping 80% of these exports being shipped to China, making it a major player in the global beef market. The export process begins with herders using helicopters to gather large groups of cattle, sometimes from vast and remote areas of the country. The cattle are then driven to the nearest transport hubs, where they are loaded onto trucks and driven to ports for shipping. Once at the harbor, the cattle are carefully loaded onto ships, where they will embark on long journeys across the ocean to reach international markets, further highlighting the interconnectedness of global agricultural trade and the importance of the cattle industry worldwide. Now, let's return to the U.S. dairy industry, which also plays a significant role in American agriculture. Dairy farming is especially prominent in states like California and Texas, where farmers are responsible for raising thousands of dairy cows to meet the ever-growing demand for milk and other dairy products. The U.S. is the fourth largest country in the world in terms of dairy cow population, with approximately 9.4 million dairy cows, producing an astounding 220 billion pounds of milk annually. Upon birth, calves are separated from their mothers and raised in specialized facilities to ensure they receive proper care and nourishment. Farm workers act as surrogate mothers, providing attention and ensuring that the calves grow healthy and strong. As these dairy cows mature, they begin producing milk, which is collected and sent to processing plants to be turned into various products, from fluid milk to cheese, butter, and yogurt. This intricate system of care, feeding, and milking is critical to maintaining the U.S. dairy industry's productivity, ensuring that Americans and people worldwide have access to high-quality dairy products year-round. In the U.S., about 8 million calves are born each year, though not all of them survive. Around 500,000 calves die shortly after birth, and 450,000 cows die in the lactation process. Some calves with health problems are kept separately for medical care, ensuring they receive the attention they need to grow strong. For the first month of their life, calves are kept indoors in special pens, where they are monitored closely for health and growth. California, Wisconsin, Idaho, and Texas are the 4 states that house the largest number of dairy cows in the U.S. Among them, California stands out with 1.7 million cows. When it comes to the diet of dairy cows, many people think it's composed mainly of grains. But in reality, more than 60% of dairy feed in the U.S. is made up of grass and corn silage. Cattle ranches in the U.S. consume approximately 315 million tons of silage every year. At a farm in Texas, for instance, this is the process of harvesting corn silage, which is then used to feed dairy cows. There are 351 dairy farms in Texas alone, with about 600,000 cows contributing 15.1 billion pounds of milk annually. On these farms, dairy cows are fed twice a day, once in the morning and again in the evening, and some even get massages to help relax and reduce stress, which can significantly impact their milk production. Dairy cows are typically milked several times a day, depending on the farm's size and the number of cows it houses. On smaller farms, milking can be done manually or with small, specialized machines. However, larger dairy farms often rely on advanced milking machinery to streamline the process. These sophisticated machines not only speed up the milking process, but also ensure that it's done in a way that is both efficient and comfortable for the cows. On average, a dairy cow in the U.S. produces more than 7.5 gallons of milk daily. To handle such large quantities, herds of cows are brought into milking parlors where automated systems take over, collecting milk in a controlled and hygienic manner. This technology allows farmers to milk hundreds of cows in a relatively short amount of time, ensuring a smooth operation. Once the cows are milked, the milk is carefully transported to processing plants, where it undergoes various stages of treatment, including pasteurization to kill harmful bacteria and ensure the milk is safe for consumption. After pasteurization, the milk is packaged and prepared for distribution. At these plants, the milk is also transformed into a wide array of dairy products, such as butter, yogurt, and one of the most beloved products, cheese. In fact, the United States is the world's largest producer of cheese, a title it has held for several years. In 2023 alone, the U.S. produced a staggering 14.1 billion pounds of cheese, meeting the demand both domestically and internationally. Wisconsin is the leader in cheese production, producing 3.36 billion pounds, followed by California, with 2.5 billion pounds of cheese made annually. The scale of cheese production in the U.S. is immense, and states like Wisconsin and California are at the forefront, driving innovation and maintaining high-quality standards. Farmers across the country play a vital role in supporting the dairy industry, ensuring that cheese and other dairy products meet the growing global demand. Whether it's in the form of a rich cheddar on your burger or a creamy slice of mozzarella on your pizza. The journey from the farm to the table involves numerous steps, from the care of the cows to the production of the final product. So, the next time you enjoy a dairy product, take a moment to appreciate the hard work and dedication of those involved in this essential industry. Cattle ranchers, dairy farmers, and factory workers, all of whom contribute to the food that we consume every day. We hope you've enjoyed this look behind the scenes of cattle ranching and dairy farming in the U.S. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date with our future videos. We have so much more to share about the incredible world of agriculture and how the food you eat is produced. Let us know in the comments what you think, and we'll see you in the next video.